You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Lamar Brown made the announcement at U-High on Thursday, the number 7 overall player in the country in the On3 composite. Sam Spiegelman, national recruiting analyst for Rivals, which, of course, just merged with On3. Great to bring those two entities together. Sam, great to have you as always, man. Thank you for the time. How are you?
Doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, man. Hard to not be doing awesome in purple and gold land here today on this day. If you would just start maybe with a reaction to the news, Lamar Brown picking LSU over Texas A&M, Miami, and Texas.
Yeah, I mean, you could say this is not surprising. This is a kid who's from Baton Rouge who plays his high school football on the foot of LSU's campus, but that would be a lie. Texas A&M made this a very close race, and we all know that for a couple of hours on June 14th, Lamar was considering not taking his official visit to LSU on the 20th. There's some discrepancy whether that would have ever really taken place, but, be it as it may, he took that visit, and since then, LSU has been surging again at the right time of his recruitment, basically going into the July 10th decision. This was as 50-50 as it gets. I've had a couple of GMs and player personnel members call this one of the most unique recruitments they've seen in so many years because it was just so tight. And, Mike Elko and his staff, Tony Gerard-Eddy, Sean Spencer, the list goes on and on. They did a fantastic job of getting a 5-star defensive lineman from Baton Rouge to visit College Station 8 times in 13 months. That's not an accident. That's not a coincidence. That's a lot of really great recruiting and a hard effort. But credit BK and the staff, from Frank Wilson to Blake Baker, Kyle Williams, Joe Sloan. I think every member of this staff, Austin Thomas, the GM, playing a critical role, keeping Lamar Brown home. I think ultimately he saw opportunities at both schools, and it became so close at the end, on and away from the field. He kind of followed his heart right to LSU.
We'll get right back to the video, but thrilled to welcome Our Lady of the Lake to AFR LSU. As the championship health partner of LSU athletics, the physicians at Our Lady of the Lake serve the champions on the field in the purple and gold, but that same level of care is available to you and your family. I've been a proud supporter of Our Lady of the Lake my entire life, from volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Playroom as a high schooler to helping so many of the fundraising efforts for the standalone children's hospital, to my own son being a patient now at that very children's hospital, and my primary care physician, Dr. Kurt Chastain, at Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. Our Lady of the Lake has been a part of my medical journey my entire life, and you can learn more as well. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Sam, what do you think ultimately did put LSU over the top for Lamar Brown?
I think that it obviously mattered from an NIL perspective, of course, leading into, today. And I think today Texas A&M had the best NIL package available to Lamar Brown. They are, what they have in their collective at their university is extremely unique. But that's just a Texas thing. You can look at every single program in the state of Texas, from SMU to Houston to Texas to A&M, so on and so forth, and they got money to spend, and they spend it very well. LSU was able to make a competitive push toward the end, I was told. I don't think that they had a better number, but they made it so if Lamar did want to stay home and play at LSU, it was close enough where he could do that at a competitive price.
That speaks volumes. It's interesting, Sam. I was told, and I don't know if you know the number, but I was told it was a mid six figures number. So I'm curious what the discrepancy was. But either way, the high school NIL component of this becomes fascinating, which is something I know that you've got to follow there. Which kind of leads me to a different part of the question, Sam. We saw the news just a bit ago that Jeff Martin is coming back to LSU. Earlier this week, they hired Kelvin Bolden away from Ole Miss. Can you speak to just being in those circles every day professionally, Sam, the staff that LSU has assembled here under Austin Thomas?
Yeah, this is as Louisiana built staff as we have ever seen in Baton Rouge. I mean, when Brian Kelly got hired, everybody wondered how one of the most winning coaches in college football would last in Baton Rouge in the South in Louisiana, where they live and die with their football team. But what Brian Kelly did was assemble an all-star staff of Louisiana homegrown talent. I mean, I'm not here to like gush and brag over them, but if you think about it from that perspective, you have Frank Wilson, who obviously was the best recruiter during the Les Miles era, has been a head coach at various universities, and is deep-rooted not only in New Orleans but around the state as anyone. You have Cortez Hankton, who won a national championship as Georgia's wide receiver coach, has been considered for head coaching opportunities as a co-passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach. Joe Sloan, we know, again, a head coaching candidate we hear every single year as the OC. Blake Baker came over from Mizzou, is a homegrown defensive coordinator back over here. Kyle Williams, their new D-line coach, everyone knows is a Ruston legend, is an NFL legend. So even though he's new to the position, is a homegrown coach. And Corey Raymond, who is basically credited for assembling LSU's DBU from New Iberia, is on this staff. If I forgot someone, I know Jake Olson and Kevin Peoples are also just fantastic coaches that have been handpicked by Brian Kelly and the coordinators here that have also played tremendous assisting roles based off their resumes. So what they've done from Austin Thomas on down to the coaching staff is create an all-star group to recruit this state so that Lamar Brown doesn't want to leave LSU because he knows what's available to him. And if you look at the top 10, top 13, and they're all blue chippers in Louisiana, 96% of those kids are committed to LSU, and they're largely all kids that LSU wanted.
When you look at the class of the 16 commits right now, Sam, and in the on-3 composite, LSU's number 6 nationally, but they do have the highest average rating per prospect. If you were to just give me the flyover view of this class, adding both Lamar Brown and DeAnthony Lafayette today, what would you say?
I mean, look at how many number ones are in this class. You have the number one wide receiver in the country, and Tristan Keys. I know he's from Hattiesburg. That's basically a suburb of Louisiana, let's be real. And behind him, you have the state's leading receiver from a year ago in Kenny Darby, and Jabari Mack, who, is coming from Destrehan, a powerhouse, and is one of the freakazoids in this state. You look at their defensive line now. Rich Anderson is the number one defensive lineman. Lamar Brown's the number one athlete. He could play either side of the ball on Saturdays, potentially Sundays. They went and found home run hits in Haynesville. You just have so much number one star power complemented by in-state gems that this staff is really high on. They're the big missing piece, of course, is a quarterback. But if you look at everything around it, this class is as good of a Louisiana class as you're going to get.
Sam Spiegelman is with us from Rivals, national recruiting analyst. Sam, as you kind of look at what's next with 16 in the boat, what's next?
LSU, this is going to sound crazy. So I have not started drinking or anything else today. LSU, Brad Davis is in very much one of the front runners for Recruiter of the Year right now for what he's doing. He has Bryson Martinez from East Ascension committed, a very blue chip offensive tackle. He's gone into Mississippi. He's double dipped in the SIP with Emmanuel Tucker, another really uber athletic offensive tackle prospect. Bryson Cooley, a really big bodied offensive lineman. And they're very much, at points they've been the leader, and if not, they've been right knocking on the door with Darius Gray, who's the number one interior offensive lineman in this class. They weren't really recruiting Darius Gray until Lamar Brown wanted to be recruited as a defensive lineman. He was their number one interior offensive line target, but because they went in that direction with Lamar, it opened up another avenue to go after Darius Gray. I keep a lookout for that, and they're also in a great spot. Again, Tristan Keys is committed. Jabari Mack, Kenny Darby. They're very much in play with Jace Matthews. He's another really talented kid out of Leake County in Mississippi, not too far from Mobile. There's someone that his staff really likes. They're trying to bring in 4 blue chip receivers and have the best wide receiver haul in the country. Right now, it's looking like it. And I'd say they're battling A&M again, head to head for Jace Matthews down the stretch.
Sam, last thing for you. Your time very much appreciated. Does LSU, when you look at where they fit right now with the rest of the classes in the country, does LSU have a chance to finish with the number 1 overall class?
I think the one thing they're going to have a 5-star class, but I think without that quarterback, without that big centerpiece, it just lacks that over the power stuff. You have schools like Georgia, like Texas A&M, like USC that have full classes stacked from top to bottom that include these highly ranked, either high 4-star or 5-star quarterbacks. LSU might be able to stack up enough 5 stars in the trenches that they make it interesting. That certainly seems to be the trend that BK and his staff are going with. Just get as many blue chippers, and they can hit the portal in a couple of months. But I think just missing that one last piece might just be that one piece that keeps them from number 1 in the country. But I wouldn't rule it out.
Y'all get him on Twitter at Sam Spiegs there from Rivals. Always appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one, Matt.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.